My name is Hazem, and today I'm going to show you Revit. I'm going to show you dimensions. So in this drawing, we've got dimensions. Now, what you want to do for best practices is your dimensions should only be on two sides of your drawing. You do not want to have dimensions on all four sides, because that makes the drawing extremely cluttered. So no biggie, but you also want to try to take your dimensions off from one corner. Now I prefer top and right, but some people want to go on the left and or the bottom, which is okay. And if you're finding that you have too many dimensions or it's getting cluttered, you may want to break up your drawing into sections or show some more detailed views. Sometimes you can't fit all the dimensions on one drawing. So if you look at the walls, what we want to do is we want to start from the left or the right, doesn't really matter, and just work our way. So you can see all these walls are in a straight line. So when we work our way to the right, we're just putting them in order. So we got the first set of walls, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth walls. So I click here, so I'm going to delete these. But I see I've created all my dimensions in one set. So I just go modify. So I go on my modify tab, and then I click on measure, and we want to choose align dimensions. And then, now this is a tricky part, and you want to zoom in here. Now you have to decide, since this is an exterior wall, because this can tend to confuse. If you do something really sloppy, you'll tend to confuse the people that are actually building this for you. So every wall has three dimensions. One is the left side, one's the right side, and one's the center. So when you're building, now if you've got a building that's you gotta be careful, because dimensions can be tricky. And when somebody takes this drawing and they actually try to frame this building, if your dimensions are messed up, and they can be messed up, then they're gonna run into trouble framing, and your rooms are gonna be off by a bit. So there has to be like a reference point, which is where we start. And so I like to start in the top left corner. But now this is an existing building, and we've added all these walls, right? So we've demolished a whole bunch of walls, and we're left with like a floor plan, and we've added a whole bunch of new walls. So first of all, so as I said, we can start in the center, but if we're going to measure from the center, it doesn't really make sense on an exterior wall, because this wall's already here. It's almost impossible for somebody to know where the center of this wall is. But you have to be careful. You have to be consistent. So with the exception of it, so with the exterior wall, if you try to measure to the next exterior wall, say it's 15 and 11 7/8 or whatever the wall is, that's where it fits. You end up, somebody tries to build this wall on this line. They don't know how thick this wall is. So what you're better off doing, and you can move this line, but it's not easy to move. So I'm gonna undo this, and what we're gonna do actually is we're gonna measure from the center, from the interior edge of the exterior wall to the center of our next wall. Now if you do that and then you'll be sloppy, now later you just go to now let's say you go to the exterior edge of this wall. Now people are gonna be like, well, that's stupid. But unless you have a reason for that, unless your tolerance is somewhere, you may want to have a minimum spacing somewhere or whatever, doesn't make sense. But generally, I like to put my measurements to be on center, and that way, part of it too is if you have different wall types in your building, they may end up being different thicknesses, right? So sometimes for soundproofing, for example, we have two layers of drywall on each side, so that makes the room a little bit thinner. So now here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to go like this. So then I made a measurement, and now I'm going to make another measurement. Let's say from the first wall, the second wall, and now I kind of made a mess here. So now I'm going to go like this. Now this one's tricky. Like this, and then like that. Now this guy kind of gets a bit sloppy. So your drawing's going to have all these measurements at different heights. And then people are going to measure off of one wall. So to make the measurements really nice, what we're going to do is we're gonna start on the wall here, and you might have to zoom in a bit, and then we're gonna go to our next wall, and we're gonna click there, and then we're gonna go to our third wall and click there, and then we're gonna go to our fourth wall and click there, and we're gonna go to our fifth wall and click there, and then we're gonna go to our sixth wall and click there, and then we're gonna go to our seventh wall and click there, and now all my I got all my walls here now. This washroom's existing, so I didn't mark it, but you can if you want to. Some of these were existing, so we're not modifying these. And then we just click there. So now I've got all my measurements all in one, and then I can do the same thing on the next side. So I can just go. See, these tend to line up, so they're okay there because we built them parallel. Now, if your customer comes back and says, "Oh, what's this measurement?" you can always make a detailed view later. And now you'll see my building has columns which I've put in, which I've measured, and I've built the walls around the columns. But we're going to end up now I've put a drawing note to tell constructor to incorporate the columns, but what we're going to have to do is come back and change these wall thicknesses. But for right now, I'm still in the first stage of my drawing where I'm telling the owner, whoops, so I made a mistake here, so I'm just going to go Control Z. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I had to do this all over again. That's the problem. Now here I've got an outdoor railing which doesn't like to snap, but I can be pretty close here. So now I can put these. Now if you don't like the distance, then you can press escape, and now you got your measurements. You can move these really easily, see? So they're quite easy to move, and then these end up on your drawing. If you have any questions, please post a comment. Thank you.